Hi everyone, I'm Jane Trotter and welcome to Accelerando Piano. In today's tutorial, I'll be showing you some exercises to help strengthen your lower finger joint so it doesn't collapse while you play. Fingers which bend backwards when playing, especially at the last joint, can be an all too familiar problem. Your fingers will feel much stronger, work more effectively, and have far greater control and dexterity when the joints are stable and correctly supported. When everything's working in harmony, excuse the pun, you'll be able to transfer your body weight through your arms, hands, down through your fingertips and into the keys with ease and comfort. You won't feel as if you're getting stuck, unable to transfer weight from key to key, or control your quality of tone and precision of touch. So, let me guide you through some exercises to help train your fingers not to collapse on the keys. Alrighty, let's start with some exercises that don't involve the piano. First thing we're going to do is put your thumb under your end joint. And you're just going to lightly press against your finger. If you're not sure where that joint is, the easiest way to find it is to flex your fingers and you'll see that crease at the end. That's where you want your thumb to go. So keep everything as neutral and relaxed as you can, and just to feel, get a sense of connection where that is. You're just going to very lightly push against that joint. And you can do that for each individual finger. Then the next step is to actually push against your fingertip. So we're moving up from the joint, aiming for the fleshy pad of your finger. So we're going to do that. And again, don't go really hard. Don't go really fast. Just take it slow. Push in, feel that resistance. Try not to let your finger collapse. Now, I can't actually do it with this finger. I can do it with my little finger, and this is what you want to avoid. Get these other fingers out of the way. So you can see how this guy bends backwards. That's what you want to avoid. That's what we're training your fingers not to do. So if I'm doing this with my little finger, putting a bit of resistance there. See, I'm not letting that guy bend backwards when I do it. Okay, next thing you can try is same sort of exercise, but with a squishy ball or reasonably solid piece of foam, not super thick, but not one that you can squish right down to nothing. So you want something that's going to have a little bit of resistance. So same sort of thing, you're just going to push into the ball slowly, gently, so you can really feel what's going on, and be really aware of what your finger's doing. Try not to let it collapse back. Don't use so much pressure that it has to collapse back because you're not strong enough yet. And don't go so fast that it really feels uncomfortable. So you want to do it slowly and thoughtfully. Final exercise you can do is what I call finger over finger. So we're going to make a fist in one hand. You're going to put your other hand over the top. Then elongate your fingers out. You don't want a really big wide circle, but just a sort of nice oval until your joints here are lined up. Keep your hand nice and comfortable and relaxed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take those fingers out of the way just so you can see, but I don't want you to do it like that. You'll have your hand just nice and comfortable. But for our purposes, here we go. Those guys are out of the way. Now, the idea is that this hand is going to try and push those fingers together. This hand is going, oh, no, that ain't going to happen. And so you'll have a little bit of resistance against each finger. And that's a really useful way of feeling that resistance and just slowly building up that strength. I wouldn't do this exercise first. I'd do the early ones that I showed you before doing this one. And again, you can try it with each individual finger. I'll just do one finger at a time. Then, of course, swap over. Make the fist in your other hand. Bring that one over the top. Elongate your fingers. There we go. I'll get these guys out of the way so you can see. And this guy's pushing outwards. This guy's pushing inwards. And you're probably going to have a stalemate where nothing happens in the middle. So those are the exercises you can try away from the piano. In this next exercise, we'll be putting a little more weight into your fingers and corresponding joints. So it's a little more advanced. I'll try and get really comfortable with the exercises I showed you first before doing this one. So what we want to do is have that lovely rounded shape in our hand. So we've got that curvature of your fingers. Each joint is supported and we can put weight through from our body into our arm, hands, fingers, and so forth. Here's a couple of tips to actually get that hand position. Firstly, pop your hands over your knees. Your knees are great because they're about the right size for your hands. So you're going to bring your hands up, keeping that same shape. You can pop them on the lid of the piano or on a tabletop, whatever you prefer. And you can see we've kept that lovely curvature of your fingers. The other way you can try is to stand. As simple as that. Stand with your hands just in a really relaxed, neutral position by your side. Shoulders are down or nice and loose. And then bring your hands up. I'm going to go sideways so you can see. And there you go. We've got that rounded position again. Take them down. Give them a bit of a shake. And I'm just going to bring my arms up. And there we go. And if I do that, you can see my hands. They're in that perfect position. Woo! There. There. And what we're going to do now is we're going to put our hands down on the lid of the piano or on your table. And we're just going to put a little bit of weight into our hands. Don't do too much. If your joints are starting to collapse, you're using way too much weight to start out with. You don't want to do that. Just start out with a little bit. Lean in and release. And as you get stronger, you can lean in further. So let's try some exercises at the piano now. Our first one will be a repeating finger pattern. So you can make up your own rhythm. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you're going to tap it on the keys, all with one finger. And the trick will be not to push the key down. So it's just going to be really light, really effortless. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And observe the shape of your finger. Have that nice curvature through. As you do it, try not to let that collapse. And you can try it for each individual finger. My wrist is quite loose as I do that. You don't want to lock everything and just move from your knuckle, which is going to get really tight. Just keep it nice and loose, as if I was tapping here. See my wrist? It's very loose. Same thing, just with one finger. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's the first thing you can try. The next stage is to actually depress the key. So, again, do it just with one finger to start with. And feel that curvature, feel that weight transferring right through your arm, through your hand, through down to your fingertips, into the key. And if that's too fast, doing it like that, if you're feeling things are getting unstable and a bit wobbly, slow it down. And you can do a slightly squishier touch. So rather than more staccato, just make it a slightly longer placement into the key. And see if that helps. The next thing you can try is doing with 2 fingers. So you're going to do it as a chord. And I'm going to start with 1 and 5. So it's balanced in my hand. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then you can try it with 1 and 4. You can have a little pause in between. 1 and 3. And so on. Then try fingers that aren't including your thumb. So you can do 2 and 4. That's going to be nicely balanced in your hand as well. And you can go for that squishy touch if that's easier. Just a sort of a slow, deep placement in. And again, you're keeping that curve and feeling that weight transfer through. So those are the first set of exercises. So now we're going to try some seesaw exercises. All of the previous exercises were repeated note patterns. And those are really good for encouraging a well-rounded and supported placement into the key. Our seesaw exercises are a little bit different, and they're designed to give a smooth transfer of weight from one finger to another without collapsing the lower joint. So we're going to start out with your 2nd and your 3rd finger. Good ones to start with. They're nice and strong fingers. And literally, you are just going to walk backwards and forwards. Keep it slow, keep it comfortable, and really observe what you're doing. Try with different fingers. You could do 3 and 4. So at the moment, we're just doing next door fingers. Really feel that weight transfer through, down through your fingertips into the keys. Once that's comfortable, then you can try non-adjacent fingers. So you might do 2 and 4. Just really feel that seesaw. As one finger goes down, the other one comes up. And you're feeling that weighted, connected feeling into the key. Then, when that's all going well, let's extend it out to 3 notes. You could do 1, 3, 5. And just take your time. And then when that's all going well, do a 5-finger pattern. Just walk up, adjacent notes, slowly, carefully, feeling the weight, and just let it come back down. Then you can try it in one of your pieces. Pick something that's really easy and do it separate hands. And grab your phone and record yourself. Stick it at the end of the piano. This is going to give you a side-on view of your fingers. Of course, when we're playing, we get the bird's eye view, we're looking down, but having another perspective will be really helpful. So when you practice your left hand, for example, you'll have your phone at that end of the piano, and that way you can see what your left hand is doing really clearly. Then when you want to do your right hand, grab your phone, stick it at the other end of the piano and do your right hand. And that way you'll get that side-on view really beautifully. I hope that's given you some useful ideas and practical exercises you can do at home to help strengthen your lower finger joints and prevent them from collapsing on the keys. Over time and with care and attention, you'll reduce the tension in your hands and fingers, improve your mobility around the keyboard, and increase your ease of playing. It's well worth investing the time, so best of luck.